What? 2 Avengers Secret Wars movies? We have got to check this out.
Might be getting another Avengers movie, and it might come in a part 2, which I think is necessary. And according to this report, Marvel Studios is seriously considering making Avengers Secret Wars into 2 different parts. We also have an update on the runtime for Avengers Doomsday and some other Doomsday reports as well. What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel today. I personally would love to hear from you all whether you think Secret Wars should be split into 2 parts or not. I think so,
yes,
because there's so much story that goes into the
there's
comics.
too much.
And of course, they don't always, well, they rarely adapt the comic story page for page in the MCU, especially the Russo brothers, but they do a dang good job at giving us a new, fresh story that is inspired by the comics. And I would really, really love a part 1 and part 2. I actually think everything that we've heard about Doomsday so far, it makes me think that we need a part 1 and part 2 for Doomsday. I think Doomsday really does need that. But this is coming from the Hot Mic podcast. Now, this is Jeff Snyder. And Jeff Snyder got quite a bit right about Avengers Doomsday when it comes to scoops. He clearly has some really good sources over there. So it's what he is reporting right now is that Marvel Studios is reportedly considering making Avengers Secret Wars a 2-part film. This was actually something that we heard kind of early on. When Marvel Studios announced Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, we had heard from reporters right around that time that they were already considering doing a part 1 and a part 2. Now, going back to Avengers Infinity War, originally it was just Infinity War part 1 and part 2. That ended up being Infinity War and Endgame. It's a little bit different this time because this would be Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars part 1 and part 2. So we would really have a 3-part film because Doomsday, well, that's the first part. However, there's a slight difference. The Russo brothers have said that Endgame, that was an ending. That was a conclusion. Doomsday is a beginning. So in a way, we could be getting kind of 2 different films here, regardless of Secret Wars being a part 1 and a part 2. But if you think about what they do have planned, a part 1 and part 2 makes sense. Now, we were originally hearing that Doomsday was around 3 hours and 45 minutes long. I'm here for that. I think a lot of you all are here for that as well. You can let me know in the comments if that's too long, not long enough, just right. Let me know your thoughts on that. And now we're hearing from the same source. This is coming from Jeff Snyder, again, the Hot Mic podcast.
And 30 minutes long.
It's looking like the runtime is pretty close to 3 hours. So that means it could be
3 hours
a little more. That means it could be 3 hours and 10 minutes long. That means it could be 2 hours and 58 minutes long. We don't know, but it sounds like they're aiming for that 3-hour mark. And it sounds, you know, pretty similar to what we got for the past Avengers films, which I think is kind of the sweet spot for a lot of people. And that's probably what Marvel Studios is thinking as well, that 4 hours, closer to 4 hours might be too long for a lot of people. In fact, I had, you know, a few friends go see Avatar Fire and Ash. And even though they liked it, they were like, oh my gosh, it was long. It was long. Like 3 hours or more can feel like a lot to a lot of people, but for such a big movie like Avengers Doomsday, I think around 3 hours would be good. Here's where we kind of get into the problem with Secret Wars. Doomsday is already going to be a lot. And if you're going to go bigger, which Marvel Studios essentially has to do for Secret Wars,
3-hour movies.
It's kind of got to be longer. If you're going to basically do what you did in Doomsday, but amplify that, well, you need more time. Otherwise, it's going to feel rushed. So having 2 parts for Avengers Secret Wars, I don't think it's a must, but depending on how much story they want to tell, and I hope they tell a lot, it probably should be 2 parts. But I'd love to know your thoughts about this. I would have loved for Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame to kind of have been 2 parts. I feel like there's more that they could have gone into. But it's pretty dang near perfect, so I wouldn't want to change anything. But with Secret Wars, with so many variants that we're going to get, with the multiverse being destroyed, with a new universe literally being created, it needs time. And that's literally what the Russo brothers have been saying. They've said Avengers Doomsday is going to be a new beginning. Why is it going to be a new beginning? Well, as far as we know, at the end of Avengers Doomsday, the Avengers will essentially lose. Everyone will kind of droid. He will rule Battle Worlds as God Emperor Doom, and this whole new
That's what I
world
hope they do, just like
is
they
gonna
did in
have
Infinity War with Thanos.
some type of history in the beginning. It's going to be establishing the history. And it sounds like we're going to jump forward in time a little bit to where Doom has been ruler for a while. Sheriff Strange has been by his side. Sue Storm has been by his side with Franklin Richards. We've seen that concept art leaked. So it does seem like there's a lot going on as far as structure of Battleworld is concerned. As far as the hierarchy, there's clearly some type of police force. It looks like Yelena Belova holding somebody by a chain, bringing that person to Doom. So clearly there's a lot going on. So you have to go into that, but then you have to go into the superheroes who do remember the past, because I believe everybody on Battleworld won't remember the past. You'll have to go into them remembering the past, showing up to Battleworld because they probably are in life rafts or the quantum realm. Then you have to go to them showing other people, trying to get them to remember the past as well. Then the organizations coming together, a bunch of different teams coming together to go up against Doom. Then you got to have the big final battle. Also, you have to have battles in between because there has to be action. You know, you can't just have a big final battle at the end and that's all the action. Plus a ton of different variants. 2 parts, I'm here for it. I want it. That's the last I'll say on that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.
Again, thank you, Cosmic Wonder. Would I like to see 2 parts of Secret Wars? Yes. Because there's a lot to take in, especially with the comics. I think there is like 2 parts, so it should happen. Just like Infinity War and Endgame. Maybe make the second one different title. So don't say part 2, just say a different title. But yeah, that should definitely happen. And I think it will. If it does, then Marvel's just up their game again, where DC is on the ground, but DC needs to rise at some point. And I don't think Superman and Supergirl will do that, because Marvel is just on another level, obviously. But yeah, that's it. I like it. Let's get it.